Time for the Coach's Corner on Firebirds Extra. Game 1 of the Eastern Division Finals just moments away here at Veterans Field. I'm joined by Kelly Nicholson, Diamond Side at Veterans Field. Kelly, your team, 2 games in the Eastern Division semis, backs against the walls. You win 2 in a row. What does it say about your team this season that facing elimination 2 nights in a row, you came back to win the series?
Well, you know, we've talked about it all summer, Sam. Our guys, even when we scuffled, they never quit. They battled to the last inning, the last out, the last pitch. And, yeah, it's a real testament to the guys we have on this team. Hey, they want to win, man. They want to finish. They want to win a ring. They want to get to the Cape League Finals. And, you know, hopefully we can play well against Chatham this 3-game series in advance. You know, I've always said it's not the best team. I don't know who has more talent. I don't know if it's us. I don't know if it's Chatham. But I'm pretty sure that the team that plays the best is going to advance, and I hope that's the case.
Before we take a look into this series, let's look at Game 3. Brian Clark comes in, a bases-loaded jam in the 8th inning. Your team up 1-0. Number 1, why Brian Clark? Obviously, Matt Troop had thrown the 50 pitches the day before. He was unavailable. So number 1, why was it Clark? There are a lot of guys you trust in that bullpen, and how proud of you are you of that left-hander that he got that 6-out save and closed the door on that series?
Well, obviously super proud. We put him in a tough spot. They got the first 2 guys on with Jared Miller. Jared gave up a couple hits, and then we went to BC and they sack bunted and second and third, and he got a fly ball to center to DeGrode, who has a really good arm, and Jeff made a really great throw to the plate. They did not have a runner. They did not have a good runner at third base and to board, and so we were fortunate there. And then, you know, I sent Brownie to the mound. I just needed a little bit more time to decide on what we were going to do with Hap. I did not want Hap to beat us. He beat us in Game 1. We had walked him earlier in the night. And to kind of get back to your question, the reason that we brought in Clark was to face Fisher, and Fisher hit that fly ball to center, and then we could walk Hap, and then we had left on left versus AJ Reed, and Hap was really good against lefties, and AJ Reed was not very good against lefties, and we just thought it was the move to make, and it worked out. And I tell you what, man, that gave us a lot of momentum in our dugout. And, boy, hats off to Brian Clark. What a great job he did in that situation.
The series against Harwich in the first round, it was such a great series. The 1-run game in Game 1. Same thing in Game 2. An absolute nail-biter in Game 3. How tough was it for you and the guys in the dugout to kind of stay emotionally in it and keep the emotions in check in a series like that where everything is on the line and each one of those games was so close?
Well, you know, I've always believed that baseball is a game of skill and not a lot of emotion. I think before you can control your actions, you got to control yourself and control your emotions. And our guys did a good job with that. Yeah, they were excited, man. They were excited for Brian Clark and excited for Troop, and obviously, you know, excited after Game 3 the other night in Harwich. But we also know that it's not where we want to end up. We have a lot more baseball to play. We have a really, really tough Game 1 tonight, and that's all we're focusing on tonight.
Jordan Luplow goes home a couple of days ago. Obviously, he was a key piece of this lineup through 40-plus games of this 2013 season. How does this now affect the lineup, where you put guys now that Loop is gone?
Well, we're going to put AD, we're going to put Davidson in the 3-hole, and yeah, it's a loss for us. Not only is Luplow a leader on this team, you know, he plays with his hair on fire. He's really good defensively. He has a very good arm in the outfield, super accurate, and he's been in that 3-hole for some time now. So yeah, it's a loss. It'd be like them losing, you know, Pickens or Dante or, you know, JD Davis or whomever. But again, we're not going to concentrate on what we don't have. We want to concentrate on the guys what we do have. We feel like we have a really good group. We have this group. Feel that this group is plenty good to survive in this series and win this series and win a Cape League championship. Just like I'm sure John feels his team is good enough to win it, and Katuit and Bourne. I'm sure everybody feels that they have the guys to do it. So we can't do anything about Luke going home. We hated to lose him. I saw him, you know, last night, and it's too bad because this is the fun part of the summer, you know. Actually, I saw Luke I think it was yesterday morning when before he took off.
Kelly Nicholson joining me right now on the Coach's Corner. Firebirds Extra continues here from Veterans Field. Kelly, Orleans and Chatham, such a rich history in this rivalry. We've talked to you throughout points in this season about that 2005 series. 2013, now the first year that these two teams are meeting each other in the Eastern Division Finals since 2005. What's it mean to you to be back on this stage, back in Chatham, this rivalry renewed in the postseason?
Hey, it's just great to be playing anywhere today. It doesn't matter if we were playing, YD or whomever. It's just nice to be playing and advancing. I have John Shifter and I have become very close friends. I have the utmost respect for John and what he does year in and year out. He was a manager of the year, and they had the best, one of the best records. I think maybe Hyannis maybe had 52 points, and Chatham had whatever they had. But they have I just posted their lineup, and it's a good lineup. They're gonna have good starting pitching. They're back into their bullpens really good. So we no doubt have our work cut out for us.
This Chatham offense leads the league in strikeouts and walks. And I bring that up because how does that affect the way you deal with this lineup? So it sounds like from those statistics, it's a type of lineup where if you put the ball over the plate, they'll either strike out, they'll put it in play, let the defense take care of it. How do those kind of numbers and the way this lineup usually hits, how does that affect the way you pitch to them?
Well, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to strikeouts and walks. Hopefully the walks are not gonna be part of our repertoire tonight. We do pay attention to splits, what guys do versus left and what guys do versus right. And I have those splits with me, and we, Brownie and I pay close attention to them. So that's a way our pitching will be dictated. It may be a lefty on a righty because maybe that right-hander is not as good against left as he is against right. So we pay more attention to that than we do strikeouts and walks, Sam.
Kelly Nicholson joining me right now on Firebirds Extra, the Coach's Corner here at Veterans Field. Corey Miller makes the Game 1 start tonight for your team. Obviously, Game 1 is huge. This is a 3-game series, and you learned firsthand in the first round. It means if you lose tonight, you have to come back the next 2 days and win the next 2 to stay alive. Corey has sat around that 5 innings mark for most of this season. Only 1 appearance this year. He's went past 5 innings. Is tonight the kind of game where you turn to him and you say, we got a great bullpen, they can handle the job, but I'd love if you could give me a little more and throw a gem tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. If he's rolling, we're going to let him roll. That's why we've kept these guys fresh. That's why you saw Pointer go 7. That's why you saw Jared Miller pitch into the 8th. That's why we get guys after 5 or 6 or 75 to 80 pitches during the regular season, so we can extend them when it counts. And we got plenty down in the bullpen. The only guy that's not really going to be available tonight is Trevor Kelly. He thinks he has a stress fracture in his back, and so he's probably done for the summer. But outside of that, as Josh Moore says, we got a full house down there.
Kelly Nicholson joining me right now on the Coach's Corner on Firebirds Extra. This one should be a fun series. 3 games, Chatham, Orleans, classic Cape League baseball. Kelly, enjoy it as always. Thanks so much.
You bet. Thank you, Sam.
Back to you, Kip, for more Firebirds pregame.